I'm Sean Inman. I'm a part of several liberty-minded groups in the Nueces County area. In the past few months, I've become aware of the issues surrounding a recent lawsuit filed by several concerned citizens about the Republican Party's failure to follow their own processes as far as elections are concerned. Specifically, the alleged in the lawsuit are potential violations of civil rights, as well as forgeries, potential forgeries on documents for delegates for the various elections. And I'm here today with Robert Heil, who's the attorney for the plaintiffs in this lawsuit. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for letting me come in and ask you some questions about this to try to get to the center of the truth on this matter.
I'm glad to be here today to bring some light to these issues. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The lawsuit, which is cause number 084209C, has been filed, and within this lawsuit, there are several concerns about violations of civil rights, failures to adhere to and follow the state of Texas election code, as well as Republican Party processes for electing delegates, basically to ensure integrity of the process. And I'd just like to ask you some questions exactly about what's being alleged and why it's of concern.
Sure. At the heart of this issue is the rights of the voters and maintaining fair elections. This lawsuit is not trivial. It's a very important issue. The clients on this case represent a broad spectrum of people who are interested in the democratic process, and their goal, I believe, always has been to make sure that elections are run in a fair way and a consistent way. Unfortunately, that's not happening in Nueces County. In this particular case, the facts which have been determined have shown that we've got a series of illegal delegates which constitute election fraud, where it has been established and proven by the party's own records, which they didn't want to turn over to the clients initially, that there were between 130 to 150 individuals who voted illegally in the Republican County election. And it's an issue and a figure that's disturbing, and my clients came to me to create some awareness about it and to correct the problem.
Great. When you say added illegally, I assume that the Republican Party leadership failed to follow their own party processes and rules for electing delegates.
That's
I'm
right.
just trying to figure out how that would happen. From what I understand, you have the primary election, and that evening you're supposed to have the precinct election, where you have your precinct chairman and your delegates nominated for the county convention.
That's right. The election fraud happened in a couple of ways, and it's my client's position that the violations violated Texas law, both the election code, which was established by the legislature to create fair elections. They violated criminal statutes by voters participating in the Democratic primary, and at the same time voting in the Republican process. They committed criminal infractions which were unlawful, in which they may be punished by in the criminal system. And the Republican Party allowed this to occur. And basically, despite the fact that they had knowledge that illegal voters were participating, they allowed the process to continue and ratified an unfair election result, which created, in my opinion, a shadow of doubt and a shadow of controversy over the entire election.
So from the precinct level to the county level, we had illegal delegates. And then from that point going forward to the state, you had basically illegal delegates voting on other delegates, which in a sense is almost sort of a fruit of the poisonous tree kind of thing. You basically have tainted the process from bottom to top.
That's
Is that
right.
a fair assessment?
It is, and if I can explain it briefly so that the viewers can understand it, the process occurs at different levels. The first level that you get is at the precinct level, kind of at the grassroots and a local level, where each individual election precinct where the ballots are actually cast. That's where the process starts. The laws are very clear in those precincts. You have to have voted in the Republican primary. You cannot have voted in a Democratic primary.
No, wait a second. There were individuals that voted Democrat in the primary?
Yes, we have a list of about 8 or 9 individuals who voted in the Democratic primary and in turn were added as Republican delegates to the county convention,
We
despite
had-
the fact that they should not have
So we
been.
had declared Democrats voting in a Republican state convention as delegates.
In violation of the law, that's correct.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there were people who didn't vote in any primaries, and the law is very clear. You've got to have voted in the primary to begin with in order to participate and be a part of that county convention, state convention, and going on to the national convention. That didn't happen. And finally, the third infraction that took place was you've got, like I said, a series of 130 to 150 illegal delegates who were just added onto the list after the precinct conventions closed. And that's something that the law speaks specifically on. If individuals are going to be added onto the convention delegate list, they've got to be recorded properly in the minutes. It's got to be done in an open forum, and it's got to be done properly. That didn't happen in this case.
Okay.
And as a result, you had about 150 people who showed up who should not have been there. And that, like I said before, tainted the entire election process. And as you described, that is a fruit of a poisonous tree.